All right, friends. So our first problem, and I really think that you guys will, because we've been practicing this so much, you're going to get it pretty quickly, okay? So we might end our lesson a little early today because I think this is going to be easy for most of you. I do believe. Michaela, thank you for letting me know that you have them. Awesome. Okay, so our first problem is, it says, how do we write 10%? And it has some fractions, but it just has missing, like a missing numerator. But then it goes on to show you how to write it in decimal form. Okay, so everyone's top of their page looks like this. Even those of you who don't have it printed out, this is what your first problem looks like. So it's saying 10% equals 10 hundredths, which we already know.
I'm guessing equals 1/10.
Yeah, we would put a 1 right there. The 1 is missing. But we know that if we're converting, if we have equivalent fractions, which we've done a lot of work with equivalent fractions, we know that 10 hundredths is the same as 1/10. Remember all those exchanging that we did with our materials on our decimal mat? That's what this is. That's why we used all those hands-on materials, so that when we get to this, your brain goes, oh yeah, I remember exchanging all of those. 10 hundredths is the same as 1/10. And we can write 1/10 like this. There's a 0.10, or we can just write 0.1, or we could even just write 0.1. It's all the same. See, all of these are equivalent. That's our big fancy word for meaning the same, right? Okay, so that was our first problem. So if you have that, you can fill that out in your worksheet. The next problem is 20%, which equals something over 100, which equals something over 10.
That would be a 20 over 100. Because in percentage, it's just at number over 100.
Exactly right. So let me ask some other people, because Gabe, you got it, dude. Let me ask Sylvia, what would be the numerator for here? What would I write in the numerator place, sweetheart?
Oh, I really know.
I'm asking Sylvia. What do you think, honey? What would go there?
2.
So we've got 20%. And remember, percent means per 100. So if that's 20 per 100, what would I write right there? It would not be 2. 20 per 100. What over 100?
20?
Yeah, 20. Thank you. Okay, Sebastian, what would I write over this? It's an equivalent fraction. 20 hundredths equals, remember, it's that equivalent thing. We exchange these because 20 of these is the same as, what would be?
Is going to be a 1 there?
Not a 1.
2.
Not a 1 up here because it was 10 hundredths, but this is 20.
2.
2, exactly right. But
I said that before.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry. You were right. 2/10 is right. But we can reduce that. We can make it in simplest forms, right? So 2/10 is equivalent to how many fifths, Isabel?
10.
2/10 is equivalent to how many fifths? Remember all those times we exchanged with our fraction circles, our pieces. 2/10 is equivalent to how many fifths?
Wait, is it 4/5?
It's not 4/5. Let's ask, Kaiden, do you know how many fifths it would be, honey?
2/5?
Sweet. I couldn't hear you, honey. Say it again.
2/5?
2/5? Not 2/5, because 2/10 is the same as something over 5.
1/10? I mean 1/5?
Yeah, 1/5 is right. 1/5. Think of those fraction circles. We have 2 out of the family of 10, and they fit in that same spot as 1 out of the family of 5, right? Okay, so then how would we write it as a decimal? 0.2. 0 or, yes, you're right, 0.2. Easy peasy, right? Let's do another one down here. I'll keep these up here so that you can refer back, okay?
Mom, but you're reducing stuff.
What's
Mom?
we?
I think you're reducing stuff.
We are doing some reductions, aren't we? We're simplifying our fraction.
Can I have some cereal?
Okay, so now we're going to look at 30%. So 30% is going to equal something over 100.
30.
Iden says 30. 30% equals 30 over 100. What if we reduce it to tenths? How many tenths? Xander, how many tenths? Hold up your fingers. How many tenths?
3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good job. 3/10. Can we reduce 3/10?
Yes. How many fifths?
So remember, when we reduce, that means we can divide the top and the bottom by the same number. Can we divide 3 by any number that also goes into 10?
Yeah.
No. Can we divide 3 by 2 and get a whole number?
No.
No, but we can divide 10 by 2, and that worked up here, but it does not work down here because they don't have common factors. Okay? That's why we do so much factoring work. Okay, you guys did that. But now how would I write this as a decimal? Who wants to just tell me? Isabel.
0.30.
0.30.
0.30.
0.30, exactly. Or we could even just write 0.3.
It to 0.3.
You can stick a 0 in front of there. It doesn't matter. Okay, you guys are flying. All right, let's do 40%. Okay. Michaela, what am I going to write in the numerator?
40. Oh my God.
40. Yeah.
40. So, Isaac, what would I reduce that to if I reduce it to the tenths? What would it be there?
1.
I'm hearing a lot of extra noise. So if you have a noisy house, mute yourself, please. I'm hearing lots of noise. Mute yourself if you have a noisy house. Isaac, what's the numerator going to be right there?
Four tenths.
I can't hear you, honey. You got to unmute yourself, Mr. Isaac. So if we have 40%, which equals 40 hundredths, if I reduce that to 10, how many tenths do I have?
Can I see it? Did you tell you?
4 tenths, yes.
Because you just take away the 0.
Yeah. Now, does 4 and 10 have common factors?
Yes.
They do, right? So we can reduce 4 tenths. What could we reduce 4 tenths to?
2/5.
Kaiden says 2/5.
Actually, the first part of 2/5. 2.
The common factor is 2. 4 and 10 share a common factor of 2. That is right. So then how would we write this as a decimal? Scarlett, how would we write this as a decimal? I want you watching and not drawing on your knee, love. Okay?
We would write 40 point.
So if you say 40 point, that would just be 40.
No, 0.40.
Oh, yeah, we got to make sure we put that point right there. And you're right. Excellent job. Excellent job. Okay, Hania, I want you to answer the next question, okay? All right. We're going to do 50%. What do I put in the numerator position, Hania? 50 is right. 50 hundredths, which reduces down to something over 10. Can you tell me what comes over 10? 5. Yeah, exactly. 5 tenths. How would I write this as a decimal? And I want everyone thinking about this, okay? If you can answer the question in your brain, then that's good.
0.50.
So is your name Hania? Hania, what is the decimal? What would we write it as a decimal with one of those decimal points? Kayla, yes. Okay, Scarlett, do you know where we would put the decimal?
You would put the decimal.
How would we write this as a decimal? James, you're right.
You would write it as 50 point.
50 point? Okay, let's look at 50 point. That means 50. Think of this as dollar. Think of this as money. 50% of a dollar. Does that mean $50? Because that's $50. But we want to have 50% of a dollar. So here's our pennies, 100 pennies, and we have 50 pennies. So where do we put our decimal here to make sure that we show it's not a whole number? It's still a partial number.
5.0.
5.0? That would be $5. You're getting closer.
0.50.
0.50. There's 50 cents. That's 50
I
cents.
wasn't sure if you wanted dollars or cents.
Well, when we're working with less than 1, then we're talking cents, okay? Less than 1 means this numerator is smaller than 100. Xander, do you have a question, honey?
No, but you forgot one more. Maybe you forgot one.
Oh, we can reduce. Good catch. Nicely done. Boys and girls, look at this. We can reduce because 5 is a factor of 5 and 5 is also a factor of 10, right? So what could we reduce this down to? Xander, do you want to tell us?
1,
1 what?
1, 2.
1 over 2? Look at that. Because 5 goes into 5 1 time. 5 goes into 10 2 times. Do we know that 50% is also 1/2? Have we learned that before with our fraction circles? Yeah, we have. 50% is 1/2. So if you came home and you were excited to have pizza for dinner, but your brother or your sister ate 50% of the pizza, would you say, "Hey, you ate 50% of the pizza. You ate half the pizza." Right? That's what it would be. Okay, let's do another one. For those of you who are finding this a little challenging, who are having a lot of think time, I want you to really pay attention because you're going to notice the patterns, okay? Don't be gazing off into the sunset or looking at your knees or looking up at the sky or doing anything else. I want you to really, really think, okay? Think hard. Because
I understand it.
Good. I promise you'll understand by the time we finish, okay?
I was going really fast, and I completed all. I completed the 10% to 100. I completed all of the 10% to 100%.
Great. Okay, awesome. Okay, so we have 60%. Sylvia, what are we going to turn that into over here? 60% is the same as something over 100. What is it?
60.
60 is right. Good girl. Okay, what does that reduce down to? August, what does that
6.
reduce down to? That's okay.
On the last problem on 100.
Shh. What does that reduce down to?
Oh, I know.
Did I hear August?
6.
6.
6/10.
6/10. That was
Okay.
Sebastian, by the way.
Sebastian, what does that reduce down to?
Something. Wait. So at the bottom, it's going to be 1. I think.
Close. So 6 and 10, what do they have in common with their factors?
Both whole numbers.
They both have 2 as a factor, right? 2 is a factor of 6,
Oh,
the factor of 10.
who's going to be 2 at the bottom?
We're not going to put a 2 at the bottom. We're going to divide 6 by 2 and we're going to divide 10 by 2. That's how we reduce. Remember?
2.
So, nope, that's not right. Let's listen. Think about it with me. 6 divided by 2 equals what?
3.
3.
3/5.
10 divided by 2 equals what?
5.
5. So 60% reduces down to 3/5. So first we turn it into a number with a 100 in the denominator, then we reduce to the 10, and then we reduce whatever we can reduce down to for each of these different problems. Now, who wants to raise your hand if you know how to write it as a decimal? Okay, Isabel, how would I write this as a decimal?
Point.
Point 60, or it could be 0.6.
Or 0.6. Either one is correct. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to have you guys use your chat function. Yeah. Okay, I'm hearing lots of loud noises again. What's that? Okay. I'm going to do the next one. I'm just going to write the percent, and then I want you guys to write, I want you to have your paper ready that says something over 100, something over 10. Okay, and then I want you to be thinking about what all the decimals are that you can write it as. Are you ready? And you're going to private message me what you think they are. Okay, so here we go. Sebastian, Hania, yep. But don't forget to reduce. And then write the decimal. Don't forget your decimal. You're going to write something over 100, something over 10, and then a decimal point with your number. Okay, Hania, good.
Right. Wait.
Thank you, James. Perfect. Thank you. Sebastian, you got this one. Did you already send me this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Hania, good. Good. I need to see Scarlett and Sylvia. Isabel, Isaac, Xander, August. I haven't gotten any answers from you guys yet. Oliver, Kaiden. Good.
Oh.
Well.
Point.
Good. Scarlett, that's not quite right. We wouldn't put 7 over 100. It would be something else. Remember, 70% is 70 per 100.
Did I get the other one right after 10?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. No, the next one. I think I do.
Kaiden, good.
It's something. Isn't it?
So Scarlett, send me the new answer.
I got
70 hundredths. Mm-hmm. Good, Xander. Good, Xander.
Did I get the last one right?
I'd have to scroll up, honey. It's all going fast.
Oh. Yeah, there's lots of answers. I can see lots of them coming through my chat.
Oliver, you're right. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and write it down. I want you to remember this. All you friends who are still kind of struggling, Sylvia, Scarlett, Hania, 70% means 70 per 100. Stick that in that brain. 70 per 100, which means if you have 100 as the denominator, you're going to write the 70 above it. This is the same thing, 70 per 100. 70%. And it reduces down to 7/10. We write
Basically, the zero was down on the other part. You just take from the 70, the 0, just to the bottom for the 10.
Yeah, because really what we're doing is we're dividing this by 10, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're dividing these numbers by 10. Really, we're multiplying by 10 in the decimal place value. Because we have to multiply to get it to a bigger number. This looks bigger than this, right? I mean, it's the same.
It's basically.
But this is moving over the whole place value. So then I want you to notice this. This is what the common mistake is that some of you do. If you write this, that's $7. That looks like 700 over 100. That's what $7 is, right? But we don't have $7. We have 70% of $1. That means we have 70 pennies.
Because basically you have to write the the top number over 100 because when the problem is like, let's say it's 70, you would have to write it over 100.
Yeah.
Over the
So then
100.
when we reduce it to 7/10, remember tenths is on the right side of the decimal point. That means it's not quite one whole yet. It's not a whole number. It's still part of a number. Okay, so there's 7/10. So this is how we would write this. 70% equals 70/100, which equals 7/10, which equals 0.7. Okay. We're going to do the next one. I want to do the same. I want to repeat the process.
Oh, yay! I think I've already done all of them.
Good.
Wait, can I type in you them because I already know all of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I know this one. It's going to be...
Also, boys and girls, if you notice right next to your shift key on your right-hand side, there's a key that has a question mark and a slash.
Oh, yeah, I have that.
So
Oh, my
that
goodness.
slash, you can use that as a fraction. So you can say, you know, if we're doing 60, you can do 60 backslash over 100. And that will give you a fraction if that's what you'd like to show me, okay?
And also, if you want to find percent, that's right over. If you hold down shift and push 5 while you're holding down shift, that'll do a percent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we learned that yesterday, didn't we? Hania,
Right.
yes! Now don't forget to send me this too. Send it in the same text. So do
Okay,
this.
can I send you my message now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I'm done too. Wait, okay, so I'm
I think you
entering
forgot
it
to do
now.
it. Okay, think time in your own head, not verbalize it. Okay. Good, Kaiden. Good, Sebastian. Hania, good. I'm still waiting for Scarlett. I'm still waiting for Sylvia.
Next one's gonna be,
Come on, girls. I'm not letting you laze around. Let's get to it, my darlings.
no.
I did send you a chat. You're just going to have to scroll up.
Oh, that's an O. Wait,
Okay.
wait, no, that's the wrong one. That's
Don't
the
forget
7.
this one. Sebastian, shh. So do this and then do that. Do this and that. Don't forget. You need to do both of them.
Did you see my answer?
Did you send me yours, Miss Sylvia? Did you send me yours, honey?
Got the 70 wrong.
Let me see, babe.
I'm doing it now.
Okay. Make sure you're sending me.
Okay,
James?
next one's gonna be.
James, you're good, buddy.
Oh no. Okay, I got it.
My mom also gave me a different percents workbook
Oh, good. Yeah.
to do. So yeah,
Excellent. Excellent.
can I leave the meeting?
Sent
now?
it
Teacher
on.
Kelly, we have good paper. We have good paper.
Oh, great.
So I can do
Scarlett.
math on it.
Okay, Sebastian. Shh. Scarlett.
I sent it one.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to fill this out now. 80% means 80 out of 100. So we're going to write 80 out of 100, which reduces to 8/10. This also reduces because 8 and 10 have a common denominator of
2 numbers.
2, the number 2. 2 goes into 8.
Oh
and
yeah,
2 also goes
basically
into
because
10.
you're doing the 2% just. Okay, I hear it now.
Okay, so we're going to divide 8 by 2 and we're going to divide 10 by 2. Okay, this is reducing. 8 divided by 2 is what?
8 divided by 2 is. Wait, let me see.
You should all know this. This is all stuff that you've done in, kindergarten and first grade.
Wait, really?
Mhm.
4.
8 divided by 2. 8 apples, 2 friends. Remember? 8 gummy bears, 2 friends. How many does each friend get? 4. What's 10 divided by 2?
10 divided by 2 is
5.
1. 5.
5.
5 is right. So our answer reduces down to 4/5. Now we're going to write it as a decimal. Here's my decimal point. Do I put it here or do I put it here? I'm going to put an 8 somewhere. Do I put it on this side or this side?
Left. No.
Right here? Do I put it there? Yes or no? No?
No. The other side.
Over here?
Yes.
That is right. 0.8 is correct. Because if it were over here, it would be $8. This is $8. This is 80 cents. Okay?
80%.
Yeah, because we're finding 80% of $1. So it can't be $8. That would be a lot. Oops.
Because that is not what we're doing.
Okay, let's do 90%. 90.
Then you're going to do 100. I already found it.
Okay, we're gonna do a lightning round. Sylvia, what do I put on the top?
Oh. No.
90.
90. Excellent. Isaac, what do I put over here? Unmute yourself, buddy. Nine. Good. Can we reduce that? We cannot, because 9 and 10 do not have a common factor.
Too big.
The factors of 9 are 3 and 9. The
Too
factors
big.
of 10 are 2 and 5.
Oh, yeah, because it has to be like 2 because it can't be 3.
So there's no common factors, therefore that's the smallest, or that's the most reduced it can be. That's the most simplified. Okay, here's my decimal point. Am I going to write my 9 over here or over here? Where should I write it? Over here?
Oh.
Or over here? Give me a thumbs up if you think it should be here. Give me a thumbs up if you think it should be over here. Yeah, it's 0.9. 0.9.
That just
Should be there.
Okay, I'm muting a few of you because you're feeding back. Okay, so now if I were to write it on this side of the decimal point, that would be $9. Over here, it's 90 cents, right? 90 cents, $9. Big difference. All right. You guys, this one's gonna be fun. Okay. What should I write up here? Oliver.
100.
100. So that means if you have 100 pieces of gummy bears and 100 people got each a share, each person would get 1, right? 100 over 100 equals 1. So how much?
sent you in the private message.
Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, good. Yeah. Okay, so now what would I write over here on the numerator side? You can show me with your fingers. Everyone show me with your fingers. There you go, I see. 10 tenths. That reduces down to 1. So 100% of $1 is $1. Okay, so now this is the fun part. Where am I going to write my 1? what side of the decimal point do I put it on? This side or this side?
The
I have an idea. Make it easy. I'll point and you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay? I'm looking at your pictures. I can't hear. It's just noise. It's just noise. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Awesome. Oh, I mean, wait, what about over here? Thumbs up or thumbs down? I'm seeing some people say thumbs up, some people saying thumbs down. Okay, guess what? This is where we put it. And we'll think about it. If I put it here, we have 10 cents. But remember, this is 100% of $1, which means it is $1. So it's a whole number. So we do put it on this side. That's why this was kind of a fun one. I got to challenge you. So $1, 10 cents. 100% of $1 is $1. It means we have 100 pennies out of 100 pennies, or 10 dimes out of 10 dimes, which equals $1. So our $1 goes on this side of the decimal point. We could put a dollar sign in front of it. Does that look familiar? Does that look like a dollar bill sign? Yeah, that's what that means. And 100% of $1 is $1. Okay. So I'm going to just go over this next activity. This is page 417. And we're going to be drawing lines. And I drew a few lines on mine to show you. This is the relationship between our fractions and our decimals and our percents. So if we have, let's see, 100% is the same as $1. This is $1 again. This is still $1. It's also 2 over 2, 3 over 3, 4 over 4, 5 over 5, 6 over 6, 8 over 8, 10 over 10, and 100 over 100, right? It's not on here, but that's would be on there if we kept going. So we're drawing lines showing that these are all equivalent. So this is what you're going to do on your paper, okay?
Teacher Kelly, there's no 7 over 7.
Yeah, I know they skipped them because they're assuming, okay, you guys get it, right? Yeah. So then 90%, it goes all the way down to 0%. So 90%, 80%, and they stuck in a 75% because that's a very well-used one. 75% is well used. 70%, 60%, 50%, 40%, 30%, 25%, 20%, 10%, and 0%. You're going to take a ruler and you're going to draw a nice line that connects all of those equivalents. And I want you to do it and be thinking, this is all the same thing. This is telling me the same information. Okay? I want you to connect all of those concepts to show the relationship. Okay, so we're not going to do that together. I'm just going to let you do that on your own. Let's go to the next activity. So this is the third sheet that I had you guys print out for today. And it's the same thing that we just did. It's using those same concepts. I'm going to show you. Let's see. They did the first one for you. Let's do 75%. Okay? 75%. I'm sorry, 75 cents. When you see this sign, this means cents, right? Okay, so that means pennies. Well, 75 cents means you have 70 pennies out of 100 pennies, right? So we could, and we also know that means 75%. So as you work across your little worksheet here, we've got boxes, don't we? The next one would be 75%. The next one, it shows, well, now you want to write it as a dollar symbol. So you could write a dollar sign, and there's a 0.75. Because we don't have a dollar yet, we just have 75 cents. So we would write 0.75. As we continue across the board, then we would write 0.75. You see that? 0.75. Now, how would we write it as a fraction for the next column? Way over here. If we write it as a fraction, it's going to be something over 100, right? Because we know it's percent. So what would it be over 100? Hania.
75.
Yeah, 75 over 100. 75 over 100. Then the last one, and I've run out of room, so I'll just do it over here. I'll just pretend that this is my last column here. 75 over 100. We want to reduce that. Who knows what that reduces to? 75 hundredths. Who knows? Michaela might know. Isaac might know.
I have a guess.
What's your guess, Isabel?
Is it 4/10?
Mm-mm. This is kind of a tricky one. This is something where we're looking for the common factors, okay? 25 is a factor of 70, and if you're thinking of quarters, this helps you. How many quarters make 75 cents? Xander says 3.
3.
How many quarters makes $1? Xander says 4.
1.
4 quarters make $1. 4 quarters. So our reduced fraction is 3/4. 3 out of 4. Remember, if you're thinking about money, it makes it so much easier. Think of it in terms of dimes, pennies, quarters, and then it will seem a lot easier, okay? And you can even practice with your parents. You can say, okay, if I buy some candy for $4.75 and I give the clerk $5 bill, how many quarters would I get back? Or how much change would I get back? That helps your mathematical mind think in terms of these fractions and percents. Okay? That would be a fun game to do. You could play shop. You know how you guys like to play shop at school? Play shop at home. You can do that. Okay, so now let's do a few more and then I'll let you go for your next class, okay? Let's do 2 more. Let's do I'm gonna do 4/5 because we've got a 4/5 on the end in the simplest fraction and we're gonna work backwards, okay? So we've got 4/5 way over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, way over here on the end of your paper, you're gonna see the number 4/5, and then these are blank. You don't know what these are. So if we're working backwards, well, my first thought is, well, how do I get that to be 100? Because that will then give me my decimal and my percentage right away. So how do I get 5 to be 100? Who can tell me? Oliver. How do I get 5 to turn into a 100?
Multiply it by 20.
Multiply it by 20, yes. And what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So 5 times 20 is 100. What is 4 times 20? And I'm going to put that right there.
80.
Is that what you were going to say too, Scarlett? What were you going to say, honey?
I was going to say 90.
4 times 20. So you've got 4 and 2 in those numbers. So our answer would not be an odd number. It would be,
Yeah,
it
Teacher
would,
Kelly, I have to explain that.
okay, go ahead.
Because because if you count by twos, it's 2, 4, and if you could just add a 0, it's the same thing. You just add a 0.
Yeah. So because 2 times 4 is 8, right? So 4 times 20 is the same thing. You just put a 0 on there. So 4 times 20 is 80. Okay, well now we're going. Now we're cooking. Now we know, okay, I've got my 80 over 100. Boom, I can easily finish the rest of the problems. If I write 80 hundredths as a decimal, I'm gonna write 0.80, right? Right, Scarlett? Okay, stay focused, honey. You're watching me. Yeah, 0.80. And then if we keep going, how do I write it as a dollar sign with a dollar sign in it? It's just the same. We write 0.80. That shows we don't have a dollar yet. We have 80 cents, right? We're on our way to a dollar, but it's not a dollar yet. And then if we write it as a percentage, we're going to write 80%. Now we're going to write it as cents. We're going to write 80 cents. So all we do is write 80, and then we put the cent sign. And that's the cent sign. It's a little C with a line through it. So I just helped you with probably it might be the hardest one, because I think everything else is multiples of 10. So you'll be able to get that. This one's the more challenging one. And we just did it together. So you should be able to go to your paper and fill all of these spots out. And think of it this way, if you're working backwards, you say, okay, this is a 5 in the denominator. I want it to be 100. What do I have to do to make it 100? Okay? And now I'm gonna let you guys go because you worked super hard and your brains are really full. And I want you to go get a drink of water or a cup of juice or take a bite of cheese and get ready for Chris's meeting, okay? And it's going to be play practice, so I'm excited to hear about it. All right? You guys are awesome. Give yourselves a pat on the back and kiss your brain. And I'll bid you adieu. Adieu.
Hi, Kelly.
Bye.
Bye,
Teacher
teacher.
Kelly.
Bye.
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 Have a great day.